So I'm going to say a couple things first that you might already know, but just in case the audience doesn't. BlackRock has $7 trillion of assets under its management, and it's the largest financial firm in the world of that type. This year, they will begin to exit certain investments that present a high sustainability-related risk, such as investing in coal producers. Even Shell Oil has decided to align itself with the Paris Climate Agreement, and both Shell and Exxon publicly acknowledge a significant anthropomorphic change in the climate, which they've known about for 40 years. So the question is, if the companies that stand to profit the most from fossil fuel use acknowledge that it is damaging, what grounds do you have to say that it is not?
Well, I'll address it on a couple levels. First of all, the grounds I have are the evidence that I gave. So if you I'll explain why they're going wrong, but I find it a dangerous level of reasoning to say, these people said this and I'm not giving any evidence for it, therefore you should believe them because they have a lot of money under management.
I'm
so,
happy to provide my evidence.
Oh, no, I know the evidence, don't worry. But I'm just saying the form of it is, like, I just gave you an hour and a half of evidence, so I'll tell you what's going.
I can also do that.
Okay, well, you can hold your own speech tomorrow and I'll make it if I can. So yeah, let's talk about BlackRock. And now I just want to, the reason I'm stressing that, I don't mean to go after you in particular, but there's a lot of what's called appeal to authority in this debate. And it's plausible because we do need experts, but it's important to use authorities in that sense. But you really need experts to explain their reasoning and evidence very carefully, and you need to think about, is their thinking method good, including are they looking at just side effects or are they not looking at benefits? So I would say that, like, if you take Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock, if you read his article, look at his latest article and analyze it from the perspective of, is he actually looking at the full benefits of fossil fuels, and is he accurately assessing the side effects with precision? And I'd say he's doing nothing resembling that. So he answers none of the points that I raised here. For instance, if you are talking about climate catastrophe, you must address the fact that climate-related deaths have plummeted. You cannot ignore, if you're talking about an existential threat, you cannot ignore the fact that this is an area of life that has gotten much better. Nor can you ignore the fact that life has never been better. Larry Fink talks about none of this. So he's making all the same errors. Now, in terms of Exxon and Shell, I'd put Shell as considerably worse in this. But what Shell has done is they've made certain public statements that they are hoping gets them certain investors who care about, quote, sustainability. BlackRock is doing a similar thing. They're saying, hey, we want investors who are, quote, sustainable, and so we want to get out of coal. And they have every right to do that. I think they have a right to. I think they're doing it in an immoral way by demonizing coal and oil and gas. But the bottom line is, fossil fuels are completely crucial for the future of the world. The fact that some investment firms are discouraging it, or the fact that certain companies are making fairly empty commitments about it, or even if they make sincere commitments about it, doesn't change the fact that nobody has any clue how to produce low-cost, reliable energy for billions of people at the levels we can with fossil fuels. Well, but they don't have any clue how to do it for a while. It's going to take a while. What's that? Well, no, I want to make clear. Knowing how to do it today, like, I don't know what it means that you know how to do it today, that you can, okay, you can go back up to the question, but I just want to go back to this. So just to give a sense, so again, I'm totally for nuclear. And by the way, Larry Fink does not advocate nuclear at all. The nuclear thing is just, if you just talk about the scale of it, you're talking about building one new nuclear plant a day, every day, starting yesterday till 2050. It's just like the scale of it is not, and how to do that cheaply, and there's just a lot of work to be done, and then how to do it for transportation and all the other things. It's something that we should get started on as quickly as possible, in that nuclear should be free to compete. But to act like, oh, we can use it tomorrow, unfortunately, that's not at all true. So no, basically these guys are making all of the mistakes that I've focused on for the last hour and a half. So they are not thinking at all clearly about the issue, and I think that it's particularly damaging that the financial industry is doing this, because the job of the financial industry is to allocate money to where it can be most productive. And if you take away money from efficient, low-cost forms of energy and you give it to inefficient, unreliable, high-cost forms of energy, remember, the higher cost energy is, the higher cost everything is. So these people are making decisions that's going to make everything more expensive. And I would love to, Larry Fink in particular, if you're watching this, let's debate, because you losing that debate would be the best thing you could do for the world.